Hello, 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 and welcome to Rainbows Rising, where we ascend together. I'm your host, Rainbow Raaja, and today I actually wanted to take you guys through an ancestral healing ceremony, some ancestral healing practices. I already mentioned in a previous episode that making an ancestral tree or a family tree can be really beneficial. That's how I began doing some of my ancestral work. Was I made a family tree and I wrote down all of the patterns that I saw on my mom's side and all the patterns I saw on my dad's side. And that's for positive qualities and negative qualities. And when I was able to kind of get a lay of the land of my own ancestral line and recognize some of those patterns coming out in me, coming out in my parents, coming out in their siblings, I was able to begin the deeper work. You know, you can't heal anything unless you don't know what it is, right? You have to know what you're working with before you begin working. So bringing awareness to the patterns, just knowing that they're there. You don't have to know much about the pattern. You're just going to have an idea of what it is and who's been contributing their energy into that pattern. So one of the best things to do once you have done your family tree, you have some ideas about some qualities, whether it be, I picked up artistic qualities from my mom's side. I kind of am self-deprecating on my dad's side, whatever it be. Recognize those patterns and make an altar to honor both your mom's side and your dad's side. Like I said in a past episode, you don't need to know your parents to be able to do this work. It becomes a little more difficult if you don't know your parents, because the work then is like walking blindly through a dark room, kind of having to stumble around. So if you don't have parents, or you don't know your biological parents, please reach out to me, and I can give you some steps to do that work. But for this particular episode, we're going to give the steps. If you do know your family tree, you do know your ancestors. That way we can just jump straight into those practices. And for those of you who want to know how to do the work, if you're not familiar with your family and their habits, or you don't know your biological family, please reach out to me and I will go ahead and give you some practices that you can do for yourself. So create an altar. If you have an altar, clear your altar of everything that you have presently up there, unless it's ancestral related. Put a picture of your mom and dad, picture of your grandma, grandpa. If you have like a picture of your whole family, man alive, throw that on up there. If your family has given you anything, if your grandma gave you your grandfather's watch, if your great aunt drew you a picture, if whatever, maybe there's a teacup somebody gave you, throw those things up there. I like to pay homage to the four directions, as well as the lesser known fifth element. So the four directions represent the four elements. There's earth, air, fire, water. Now, if you're of pagan faith, for earth, you'd have a pentacle, which is usually a cut, like a round cut of a tree. And then you would carve or draw a pentagram into it. And that represents, material, our physical body, the earth, and all things connected to the earth. And for air, Some people use a wand. Some people use an athame. Some people will use a feather. Some people even use like Zuni fetishes for the different directions, more like a medicine wheel type of thing. So then you move on to fire. You can have a candle. You can have incense. I use an athame there. And then you move on to water. This is where you would put like a cup or a chalice or a seashell, right? And then, of course, in the center, you would want something that represents yourself, represents spirit, the ether, the unknown. And, that's what I put in the center for myself. And then, of course, we want our ancestors to be a part of that. So you would be placing your ancestors either around your circle, or you can do them inside of your circle because they'd be close to spirit. I happen to have a 2-tiered altar. So I actually put my ancestors and my guides up high, like they are looking down on me. And so I put all the things that are correlated with my ancestors and my guides up on that second tier, as well as all of the offerings that I wish to make to them. And when you make an ancestral altar or you make an elder altar, you're honoring those who have come before you. You're honoring those that are watching over you, that are silently guiding you. Their shortcomings will become things that you can heal. You can heal things for them. You can heal things that they have done. And so in a way, when you do that kind of work, which you might have already done unknowingly, when you are healing that kind of stuff, that ripple effect is felt back and back and back and forward as well. And when you're able to do that work for them, that puts their soul at peace. So now you have your altar. You can put whatever trinkets, whatever mementos, whatever special items you want on it. Anything that represents ancestors to you, anything that represents family to you, anything that represents, being able to mend those bonds, right? You don't have to put anything that is, specifically meant for spirituality if you don't want to. You could literally just have a picture of your family and a candle. You don't have to go too in depth with it. Follow your heart, follow your intuition, what feels right to you. And some of you might be wondering, like, where am I going to put an altar? Like, I don't have the space for that. Do you have a nightstand? Clear your nightstand of your books, put them underneath your bed for now. Just something really, really simple. I'm sure you have a bathroom. You can put it on a counter in the bathroom. If you prefer doing ceremonies outside, you can make one outside. You can put the pictures in a plastic bag. It's not too hard. So just find a special place for this small altar. This is something you can take down if you want. You can leave it up for as long as you want. It's totally different for everyone. Just feel it out. Sit down in front of your altar, and you want to recognize the different directions. You want to turn to the east and say, thank you, east, thank you, air, for that which I breathe. Thank you, air, for being the winds of change. Thank you for your connection with my thoughts and for helping me change my way of thinking. Thank you for your wonderful ideas and for hope and etc. Because air has all these different layers of meaning. Do what feels right to you. Connect with what feels right to you in that moment. Don't have something pre-written. I feel that, for me, it takes away from the moment. I stay present in this moment, in this life. I stay present in my body. And I allow whatever is meant to come up to come up. I do these podcasts the same way. Whatever is meant to come up comes up. And then I will turn to the south and I will thank fire for its incredible power to destroy, to cleanse, to clear, and to create, to keep warm, for protection, for cooking our food, for all of those things, right? Purifying our water. Thank you, fire. Thank you, fire. Thank you, fire. I move into the west. Thank you, water, for cleansing me, for cleansing all things. Thank you so much for being this incredible substance that gives me life. Water is life, and thank you so much for the ability to express my emotions. I see water as very much an emotional thing, so connecting in with that. Thank you, Spirit, for choosing this body for this lifetime. Thank you for all my experiences up until this point. Thank you for the ancestry that I have, for choosing my parents, my ancestors, etc. Whatever feels right to you. I'm just coming up with this on the spot, and just kind of feeling into it. So feel safe doing the same. And at that point, you want to choose one of the traits that you want to heal. So, sitting here with you guys, doing this ceremony with you guys, I would love to heal that self-deprecating pattern that my father's family has. There's this woe is me kind of attitude that, although I work really hard not to be in that state, every so often, especially when I'm low on energy, when I'm feeling less attended to by my family or partner, I will slip into this woe is me, pity me attitude, and I recognize that that's a negative thought pattern on my father's side. My grandmother had it. My uncles sometimes have it. My dad definitely has it. And so I recognize that pattern, and I want to end that pattern and free all of them from that suffering. I want to end that pattern for me and end my own suffering, and also end the suffering that I put others in when they feel the need to have to attend to me when I'm in that frame of mind. So I'm setting the intention that that is what I'm working on today. So you can illustrate something that represents whatever you want to work on. Or if you can visualize and conceptualize it, you can do that. For me, because I have a lot of practice in meditation, I'll do a meditation. I'll close my eyes and I'll call on my ancestors and I'll ask them to show me when this began. Please, ancestors, show me when this pattern began. And so in my mind, I go back and back and back. I see myself being pulled on this strange little ride. And I feel myself being pulled back, and I see all these different terrains. And I'm just staying present with where I am, where my spirit is in relation to all of this. I'm going back and back and back, and I'm feeling myself going back and back and back. I see a little child, a little girl. Her parents are really busy. too busy to pay attention to her. She's holding what looks to be like a Raggedy Ann type of doll, but it's not a Raggedy Ann doll. It's just hand stitched. It's very floppy. It's a floppy doll. And she's pulling on her mom's skirt for attention. And her mom just kind of uses her leg to push her away. She goes over to her dad. And her dad yells at her. She goes outside. Nobody outside is paying any attention to her. And I see her go inside. I see her trip. And she trips and she hits her head on the stair, and now she has a little cut on her head. And she begins to cry. And her mom comes and her dad comes, and they both come, and they both are holding her and kissing her boo-boo, and they're cleaning up her boo-boo. And she feels loved. And in that moment, she decides that if she doesn't feel loved, that she will hurt herself to get love, because that's in her mind, that's a truth. If she is hurt, someone will care. Oh, so sad. So I turn to this little girl and I say, it's okay. Little girl, it's okay. You don't have to get hurt to be loved. This is a broken thought pattern. It's okay. You should stay safe. You should stay healthy. I want her to see her choices. Little girl, would you be willing to see what your life would be like if you just asked, if you voiced your opinions, if you told people what you wanted? Do you want to see what that life would look like? This little girl nods. Okay. Let's take a look at what that life would look like. She sees herself growing up, and in some scenarios, there's confrontation. But she puts her foot down. She tells people that she feels neglected, that she feels abandoned. And although in those moments there was confrontation, she holds strong. Those people come back and apologize. They sit by her bed. Her mom, mostly in this particular memory. She sits on her bed and she says sorry, and she hugs her. They have a healthier relationship from it. She sees herself going into college. She doesn't need to pretend to be weak, because being strong gets her a lot of attention. People see how strong she is. They want to get to know her. They want to ask her questions. She gets older, and her strength attracts the attention of a boy that she liked from afar. And he admires her strength. And so together they are strong. He supports her dreams, and they have a balanced relationship. And on her own choice, she steps down from her career to be a mother. And she teaches her children to be strong. And if they get hurt, that's okay. But they don't need to hurt themselves to get the attention they need. And I see her now as an old woman, proud, seeing that those confrontations with those other people were necessary in order to hold space for them to learn to respect her, to give her attention, because she knew what she wanted. And I ask her, which path do you prefer? And she prefers the path that we just walked. Because the other path, she was always having to undercut herself, to get attention. She had to play this weak person. She had to get hurt. She had to hurt herself. She acted irrationally at times in hopes that people would pay attention. Made her feel small. And that path was not the easier path. Seemed to be the easier path, but was not the better path. So seeing this new option, I tell her she can have this path. You can walk this path. Take this path. Please. I honor you. I love you. And I release you to make whatever choice you feel best. And I let her go. And I feel myself slipping back through time, seeing all the changes along my family line, all the shifts, all the men that don't need to manipulate, complaining no more. Taking accountability when they are in pain, and recognizing that their pain means that change is needed. And I see those changes rippling along the timeline, down into my heart and into the present. That's one of the practices I do for ancestral healing. And another practice that I do, I have sang songs to my ancestors. I have sang songs about certain things I would really like to change or heal. I just completely improvise the song. I just sing from my heart. Sing from my heart. I've drawn pictures, painted things. The goal is to connect with the energy of what you see to be a dysfunctional pattern, something that is that's not benefiting you or your family anymore. Bringing your energy into it. We all have different ways of expressing that. We all have different methods. We all have different gifts. It's about really feeling into your heart, being vulnerable with yourself, and tapping into that little tiny bit of childhood innocence where you can play and create this moment with yourself to connect with the ancestors in a place outside of our realm of reality. So when you're done with your ceremony, you can make an offering to your ancestors, a bowl of rice, a little glass of wine, a little bit of food. Some people offer money. Some people offer prayers, gratitude, whatever feels right to you. Some people sing, doing a song. Whatever it be, take some time. Give your offering. Burn a note to your grandmother, to your grandfather, to your mom, your dad. Write a note, burn it, send it into the ether. Create an incense, gather some flowers, burn them. Whatever it be. And when you are done, thank them and release them from your little ceremony. Say thank you so much. You may, You may leave. I'm closing out the ceremony. Thank the ether, thank spirit, thank water, thank earth, thank fire, thank air. Close it out. Thank yourself for taking the time. Have gratitude for yourself for taking the time. Thank you, Rainbow, for taking the time today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in today, for taking the time to do these practices, or at least to listen in and know that these are options that you can apply to your own practice. And because we all come from different backgrounds, different belief systems, different cultures, feel free to look into your own cultural, ancestral practices. There are literally hundreds of different practices that you can do. And the way that I go about a lot of my practices are very intuitive. I just ask spirit what to do, and I follow my intuition. But if you have your own lineage, you have your own traditions, do those. Maybe you can incorporate some of the stuff I said, but do those. Do some research. Find out how your ancestors connected with their ancestors, because that becomes a tradition. And that holds power. That holds a lot of power. Okay? So, thank you all so much. And I just wanted to let you guys know, for all of you guys listening, Rainbow's Rising won silver in the cover awards that happened last week. So, yay. Thank you all of you who voted. I am so grateful. Without you guys, well, I really wouldn't have a podcast. And without you guys listening every week, you guys, you really honor me with your presence. Every single one of you. I'm just so grateful that you guys are here with me, doing the work with me, and enjoying what I do, enjoying my passion with me. So thank you guys for voting. Thank you for supporting the show. And, reach out to me if you have any questions. If you want to suggest any subjects, I would love to hear from you guys more. I know that you're out there. I see how many people are listening. So please don't be afraid to email. Don't be afraid to reach out on my social media, or check out my website and message me through there. Because I love to hear from you guys when you do reach out. I'm so grateful to all of those listening. And I'm just so excited to be able to continue this journey with you all. So I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your day. And thank you for all of you ascending together. Have a good day. Are you ready to ascend to the next level? This is Rainbow Raaja, your spirit guide calling. Please be sure to keep all arms and legs inside your vessel at all times. I'm just here to remind you to take some time today. Support Rainbow's Rising podcast. Go. Join the Discord community. Check out the Patreon. Get some stickers, custom tarot cards. Check out the merch. The merch. You know you want to. Go connect with Rainbow Raaja. Maybe even get a session. Who knows? Your support helps make this show possible. And she loves to support you. Help support her too. Once again, this is Rainbow Raaja, your spirit guide, guiding you to your ascension.